You know, when things aren't going well, he wears that on his shoulders. You know that.
Why did they go well? Who missed that layup?
Damn, come on.
Who turned the ball over?
Don't crash out on him.
Right.
Now, he didn't go on 3 games without talking to the media. You know that's a part of the obligation. That's in the season. That's a part of the obligation. That's why you make the big bucks. And now, when things go bad, you don't want to talk. But when he was getting those triple doubles, you couldn't beat him to the microphone.
Shannon Sharpe goes off on Russell Westbrook. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Russell Westbrook avoided the media for 3 games after he screwed up the Wolves. After the league gave him a warning, this is how he reacted after the Nuggets lost to the Pacers last night. Let's take a look.
You guys need to clean up right now and get right before the end of the regular season.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Your coach just mentioned the urgency of the situation, trying to avoid the play-in right now. Do you feel like in this locker room there's a sense of urgency?
I don't know, man. Not sure.
Michael Morris called this team one of the most resilient in the league this season. You obviously are able to draw from so many experiences. What can you kind of try to from to help this team in a situation like this where you're
I don't have the answer for you, man. I wish I did, but unfortunately, I don't.
What's frustrating you the most right now?
Probably just losing.
Where's the confidence that this group can figure something out in the next 3 games and, be on the right path heading into the postseason?
I hope it's high. I can't speak for everybody in the locker room, but, my head stays high. Get ready for Wednesday.
Now, this is classic beast mode. I'm only here so I don't get fined. Russ knows he has to give somewhat of a response. But, yeah, he may be avoiding the media at times, wanting to talk, especially in the loss. But come on, Shannon and Chad. Y'all played before. Y'all know how it is when you're going on a losing streak, losing games. You may not have that same enthusiasm if you're winning the game. But if you're Russ, this is what you signed up for. You got to be a little bit more welcoming to the media with the win and a loss.
You don't like the answers?
Let me ask you a question, Ocho. Let me ask you a question. And this is, you've been in the locker room. I've been in the locker room. Yeah. We've had some great wins. We've had some terrible losses. Had they won these games, is he behaving in this manner?
Of course not.
Probably not. Your answers are always different when you're on a high and you won a game, huh? You know that. Now, most of the time as a player, as a competitor, especially Russell Westbrook, you know how he carried himself. He carried everything on his shoulders. Very passionate, very enthusiastic about the way he plays. When things aren't going well, he wears that on his shoulders. You know that.
Why did they go well? Who missed that layup?
Damn, come on.
Who turned the ball over?
Don't crash out on him.
Right.
Now, he didn't go on 3 games without talking to the media. You know that's a part of the obligation. That's in the season. That's a part of the obligation. That's why you make the big bucks. And now, when things go bad, you don't want to talk. But when he was getting those triple doubles, you couldn't beat him to the microphone.
Yeah, as much as I want to defend Russ and athletes in general, this is what you signed up for. So you got to be available to the media with the win or a loss. And by him avoiding the media for 3 games in a row, yeah, of course, if you're Russ, just know that you're possibly going to be fine. The league is going to be talking to you. They have a lot of money within the media. They got to pay these members. So they're going to want your quotes and want your responses after the game. So if you're Russ, I know you're emotional out there, but be available to the media moving forward because you're approaching the end of your career. If you want to be in the NBA for as long as possible, the media could help that. If you're in good graces with the media, they're going to put out good stories about you. Whenever there's some bad stuff going on the court and there's agendas out there, you're going to have these media pundits that are going to be like, nah, Russ is a good dude. There may be a bigger point to this story. So you can't really piss off the media because you've seen with Russ over the last few years, there's been quotes that he's a vampire in the locker room and just everything going on in the media. Got to be nice to the media if you're Russell Westbrook.
Yes, sir.
You see, Ocho, I tell people this all the time. What you do is your profession. A profession. That's a professional. A pro is how you go about doing your job. They're entirely 2 different things. And sometimes people confuse the 2. You can be a professional without being a pro. And you can be a pro without being a professional. One thing I prided myself, I hated to lose, Ocho. I did. When I was growing up, I would cry. I would kick things and tear things. And my granny said, I'm gonna tell you something.
So yeah, you gonna
Because you're not gonna win everything in life, and you're not gonna be doing this. I just don't get it, man. That's just
Again, this is a common theme with Russ that's been going on since I kind of been paying attention to like these post-game interviews ever since like the Lakers and a little bit of the OKC days with Russ. He's been doing this, so he hasn't learned his lesson now. I doubt he's going to learn the lesson with about maybe 2 to 3 years left in his NBA career. So if you're Russ again, man, play nice with the media, because if you want to try to exhaust all options with you being in the NBA moving forward, the media, they're going to have your back. So I hear what Unc is saying, difference between being a pro and a professional. They all tie in together, but a part of being a pro is being professional, especially in these post-game interviews, being available for the media. So just more reasons why the media is going to start crashing out on Russ again. Got to be careful, Russ.
I got a question, and you know me, Westbrook real well. Westbrook been a friend.
I don't know him. I just know from what I see.
Listen, that's my homeboy, a very good friend of mine. The games where he didn't speak, the games where they may have been caused by him and his errors or what may have been. Do you fault them for not talking to the media without having a cool down and have a chance of saying the wrong things?
Yes.
Okay.
You go 3 games?
Yeah.
So let me ask you.
I'm just asking. I just want to ask you a question. I'm just asking.
No, it seemed so everybody else. Nikola Jokic had to stand up there and take qual, even though he had that 61-point triple-double. He had to stand there and face the music. Everybody else has to stand and face the music. You see, I'm big on accountability. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just have to be mad enough to come stand before you today and get I was wrong. I was wrong. I made a mistake. I've got to be better. I'm not perfect.
I like that.
But my goal is to hopefully one day to show you that this is not who I am. No matter what it is, Ocho. No matter what it is. Because I've been in a situation where I lost. Like I said, I dropped a touchdown that would have given us home field advantage throughout the playoffs. You go stand before the music.
Yeah, if you're Russ, man, you got to stand before the music. That's real. And again, I want to defend Russ. I want to defend all athletes, but there's a level of accountability that you have to have. So, Russ, you've been in the league damn near, 15, 16 years? So you know what this entails. You know what you got to do. And to hide from the media for 3 games in a row, messed up Nikola Jokic historical 60-point triple-double by turning over the ball and not playing good on defense. You got to stand in front of the media. Even if you're giving dry answers, at least be available. Same way how you were available after the game and you were saying, I think we're going to be good, but I can't speak for all of the players. That's going to paint a light in the media like you're not a good teammate. You're a quote-unquote cancer and a vampire in the locker room. So you don't want these agendas out there. You don't want the media to paint a narrative and be like, look, Russ is a certain way. Russ, you want to be in the league for a little bit longer. You're not done yet. You're still a competent player that can contribute to a winning team, but you got to be a winning player on and off the court. So you don't want to piss off the media. You got to be available. Russ, you're messing up, and the media, they're going to start crashing out on you again.
Because I believe sunshine's going to follow rain. I'm not going to drop many more.
Come on, man.
But if I do, I'm going to be man enough to stand before you and say, hey, I dropped it. This one's on me. Right. John threw a perfect pass. Everybody did everything right. All I had to do was my job in that situation.
Press the ball.
I failed.
Yes, sir.
Don't put it on anybody else. Don't talk about it's no team. Yes, it's a team. But that play, they trusted me in that moment. And I let 53 guys down, and I let everybody in the stadium, and I let every Bronco fan down. Yeah. That's on me. I got to wear that. I like that. And I don't just wear it for tonight. I wear it for the rest of my life.
That's live. Now listen. Now that's live, but you do have to understand. Everybody doesn't conduct themselves in that manner, and that kind of professional manner. That's.
But see what you did. But
that's a good one. That was good.
We just talked about this last night. What do we want women to do? Except what? Accountability.
Ooh, they ain't gonna never do that, huh? But I hear you. I hear you talking.
Then. You can't ask them to accept accountability if you're not willing to accept accountability.
That is that's dope.
You can never ask more than you're willing to give.
It's 2 different sides of the spectrum, but I like where you're going with it because I'm picking up what you're putting down, though.
That's real, though.
I tell you that. That's a good one.
Accept accountability.
Accountability.
Yes. Ooh. You have to be. You have to hold yourself accountable.
Yes.
We're not perfect. The hardest thing for me to learn is my sister say, Shannon, as much as you try to be perfect, you're not going to be. I understand you do all this stuff and you want, but Shannon, you're human. And a lot of times, humans have frailties. We have vices.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Russ, man, step your game up, man. I would like to see you in the league a little bit longer. Yeah, we have our jokes, the Russell Westbrooks and all that stuff, and you're a vampire in the locker room. But I think Russ is better than this. But again, it's going to be hard for him to kind of turn it around because he's been doing this throughout his career. He has a series of bad games. He's going to slowly disappear from the media until the team starts to win again or he starts to play better again. Yeah, if he has a triple-double and a loss with the Nuggets, in those 3 losses, of course, he's going to be available. But if he's playing bad and they're losing, he's going to get missing. So, again, if he's getting fined a couple $1,000s, that's not really going to affect him in any way. A couple thousand to him when he made hundreds of millions of dollars in the league and still making money, yeah, that's like 5 cents to him. So, if you're Russ, man, best of luck to you. The media is going to start painting bad narratives against you, and it's going to be tough for you to stay in the league a little bit longer.